Oh, it's another day here at the Comeback Team Studios, and this is your host, Bek Lover, and you're watching Interesting Times on the Bek Lover Podcast, where I cover all the news, all the stories, everything that's going on in the world. I do the work for you so you don't have to. I keep you in the know, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, drop a comment, interact with me, follow me on all my platforms, and make sure you know just how interesting this world can be. My first story, we're going to go straight to the man himself, Elon Musk, has been going to war with the government, the Democrats, and FEMA. We all know about the disaster that has been unfolding in North Carolina and other states with the aftermath of this massive hurricane, second only to Katrina. And if we're looking at Elon Musk's X platform, where he posted 4 hours ago, impeach Ali Mayorkas, again, in parentheses, weak government leadership costs lives. He's retweeting Dylan Loomis. For years at FEMA has bragged about giving billions of dollars to migrants. Now the Homeland Security Secretary said that FEMA has insufficient funds to last through the hurricane season. Oh, and that whopping $750 for the hurricane victims, you have to apply and qualify for it. Even worse, people that are trying to help are being forced to apply for permits to help other people. If needing a permit to save a life isn't a sign of government overreach, I'm not sure what is. And I have to agree with them. I covered this story yesterday of a father and son who were flying in to rescue people, and then they were threatened with arrest. So imagine, the government's not even coming to save us, help people get flown out of there, evacuated, but they got billions and trillions of dollars to send to foreign countries to help them fight wars, many of them unjust, blow up cities and countries all over the planet. And when the taxpayer who's paying into that fund is in trouble, literally life or death trouble, they leave them in the lurch. Even worse, if I keep reading this post, FEMA is actively blocking shipments and seizing goods and services, claiming them as their own. Why? If donations are not from companies on a preferred vendor list, they won't accept them or give them to those impacted. The preferred vendors get part of the money being handed out by the government, and in return, they give kickbacks. I absolutely agree with that. Also, these are very red states. So why speed up the recovery? Maybe these people might vote a certain way. And they've already said that it's going to affect the voting potential for these counties and areas that have been impacted. There's a lot going on, folks. Not to mention, all of the illegal immigrants are across the country that are getting free rent, correct, I verified, free food, and free insurance. Especially in states like California and New York City that are running on deficits now. People that are not even working are not supposed to be here in the first place. Our government is so mismanaged and backwards right now, it makes me sick. So that was Elon's post, right? A retweet of this guy. And then if we scroll down more, he retweeted Charlie Kirk. New bombshell allegations from FEMA whistleblowers help explain why the federal government's response to Hurricane Helene has been so horrendous. Gatz has confirmed that hundreds, if not thousands, of service members were deployed to North Carolina by the Department of Defense and have been sitting idle waiting for FEMA as Americans in North Carolina, Tennessee, and Georgia are missing and dying. FEMA whistleblowers also tell Gatz that the department has wasted and misappropriated funds in the wake of Helene, which is exacerbating the emergency. Gatz also confirms that FEMA funds that were supposed to be used for Americans surviving emergencies were instead used by NGOs, non-government organizations, to buy airline tickets for migrants. You know, I just don't know when Americans are going to wake up until your family gets taken out or injured or assaulted or abused or loses their life to one of these illegal aliens, or the money that should have been used to save your family's life. Like, it never bothers you until it happens to you. And so many of the sheep out there who champion these people when they do nothing right and they have neglected their duty to the American people, they literally, like, it's nothing more than making me sick than seeing people wearing shirts and signs for the people that destroy them and their communities. But they're so dumb, they just don't know what's going on. It's never been more important to learn how to read. Literally. My man Elon Musk has been going in. So he's playing these videos all over his wall.
And are going were sitting in the private portion of the airport, and we got to overhear an awful lot. The Army pilots, the Navy pilots, hospital representatives, there was a lot of chatter. While we were there, a private jet landed and 4 FEMA representatives got off. Four people off of a private jet. Come to find out, and you're not going to hear this, so let me tell you. Come to find out, Mission Hospital was told, a private hospital, that they are going to go ahead and be the morgue center for body recovery. All of the Army Chinook helicopters you're seeing flying overhead, they are doing body recovery. FEMA said, and you can take this as a direct quote, said that they are too tied up at the border to send any more representatives. Yeah, at the border. So anyhow, I guess border control trumps whatever's going on here. So they told Mission Hospital they are not sending refrigerated trucks so that they can stack the bodies up. And we also overheard that whatever fatality numbers you are hearing, and this is a quote, go ahead and add a couple of zeros.
Wow.
So FEMA's too busy with the border. The
Wow.
private hospital and the Army are going to take over body recovery, and private individuals with their private helicopters and their private planes are the ones who are flying in supplies. I was at Hangar 10. I was picking up supplies. There was a stack for the Cajun Navy. There was a stack that looked like it was ASPCA. These are all being sent by private individuals. FEMA is doing nothing. Go ahead and share that.
Crazy what has gone on in this country for too long. Elon Musk's next post is the New York Post. Calm before the storm. Feds say there's no money left for hurricanes after it spent $1.4 billion on immigrants. Crazy, man. What a disaster for this administration. Honestly, like, my God, like, if they win, I hope people get what they deserve. So, crazy. What's also interesting, thank God, guys, I know I told you to get prepared. Listen, it's always better to be prepared than not prepared. Okay, the dock workers' strike is over. It's suspended, and the agreement that they've won gives them a 62% pay raise over 6 years. A historic United States port strike has been suspended, and a tentative agreement was reached on wages, according to International Longshoremen's Association, U.S. Maritime Alliance. Effective immediately, all current job actions will cease, and all work covered by the master contract will resume. The tentative agreement would increase workers' wages by 62% over the life of the 6-year contract. This represents a significant increase from the shipping industry's group's offer of a 50% wage increase earlier this week. The union had been pushing for a 77% pay hike over 6 years. The tentative agreement would bring the hourly wage for a top dock worker to $63 per hour at the end of the new contract, up from $39 per hour. So the price of goods just went up permanently, my friends. You know, $40 an hour is not bad for a lot of people. But I guess with inflation and stuff, people are really feeling it. So now they're going to make $63 an hour. That means for 8 hours of work, these people are making close to $500 a day. So I guess it's time to work on the docks. $500 a day to work and drive a forklift. The union boss, acting like a tough guy, big shot, crying for the working man, crying for the blue-collar man. This article was released by the New York Post. The union boss who threatened to cripple economy lives in a luxe 7,000 square foot mansion. I almost bought a house where he lives in Sparta, New Jersey. These are massive mansions. That actually kind of looks like the one I was looking at. Actually, exactly, almost. I wonder if that's the house. In any event, he has a swimming pool, outdoor sauna, 5-car garage. He even has a Bentley convertible. That's a $300,000 car. Harold Daggett, the union boss who has vowed to cripple the U.S. economy if ports don't ban automation and raise dock workers' wages sharply, had a Bentley convertible parked outside his sprawling mansion in New Jersey this week. Photos taken by drone on Tuesday show the British luxury car parked with its top up outside what appears to be a 5-car garage that's connected to his 7,136 square foot house. The hulking 2-story mansion, located on 10-acre property in Sparta, a leafy enclave 50 miles west of New York City, encircles a spacious backyard patio. Guy has a 4-car garage, man. Daggett, who fought back federal accusation of having mafia ties, became president of the International Longshoremen's Association in 2011, a job that comes with a salary of $728,000 annually, on top of an additional $173,000. The guy's making almost $1 million a year. Okay? He's crying for the working man. I mean, it's just ridiculous, honestly, the world that we live in. Good people, honest people don't get ahead at all. They get used like sheep in this picture. He's fighting for you while he makes $1 million a year. He's fighting for you, guys. He's fighting for you while he makes $1 million a year on your backs. It's fucking comical. The Helene recovery could cost $34 billion, getting back to the hurricane, according to Moody's Analytics, leaving Congress and private insurers with a hefty bill to split as the storm ravages the southeastern U.S. Given the eroded state of the private insurance landscape in some of the affected areas, the federal government may have to step in to subsidize the majority of the recovery effort. We destroy other people's homes, and God destroys our homes here in America because our money is blood money. The taxes that we pay in, the fact that we don't protest and demand a change in this nation, we are feeling the wrath of God. Someone who's going to feel the wrath of God, a go-go dancer who was pimped out at Diddy's freak-offs, revealed Donald Trump, Diana Ross, and Reverend Al Sharpton were among A-list party guests. The former go-go dancer, many of them are prostitutes, really, it's just another word for prostitute, who claims she was pimped out by Sean Diddy Combs, has revealed the A-list celebrity guests she saw at his parties. Adria Sherry English, 46, earlier this year accused the music mogul of forcing her to have sex with guests at his now infamous freak-offs after first being hired to perform at his star-studded bashes in 2004. English has since been dropped by her attorney, who claimed in a legal filing on Wednesday that her destructive and undermining actions had seriously impaired attorney's ability to represent her. In a bombshell interview with Daily Mail this week, English described being sex trafficked to guests at Diddy's famed white parties in the Hamptons and Miami over a 5-year period. The encounter, she claimed, would take place in separate rooms away from the main party, where she recalled seeing famous stars including Donald Trump, Ja Rule, Busta Rhymes, and Reverend Al Sharpton. Bro, anyone even in the picture with Diddy right now? Thank God I met him 3 times in public events. Thank God I never took a picture with this guy, because they would have probably put it up and said Bek Lover was there. Like, thank God I never went to any of his white parties or was even invited. I went to a couple of events at nightclubs that were public album release parties. His energy was not a good one. He was very arrogant. He seemed very cold. He seemed like a fucking asshole, honestly. I couldn't stand him. U.S. security officials warn of potential threats surrounding October 7th anniversary. Hint, hint. Security officials are warning of potential threats. I've said in many episodes, I have a feeling something horrific is going to happen here that might change the minds of Americans towards what's going on in the Middle East. Seems like they always know about these things and don't do nothing about them. The upcoming 1-year anniversary of the deadly terror attack on Israel by Hamas and continued Middle East turmoil could serve as motivators for acts of violence by extremists, the FBI and Department of Homeland Security said in a joint public announcement Friday. While not identifying any specific or credible threats to the United States, the advisory comes ahead of Monday's anniversary of the October 7th attack in Israel and calls by foreign terrorist groups for violence against the West. The advisory also comes as Israel carries out deadly strikes against Hezbollah headquarters in Lebanon and as it weighs its response to Iran's recent ballistic missile attack. This thing is just getting out of fucking control. We need someone to take control of the country, in essence, taking control of the order of the world. We are in trouble, my friends. Biden says he doesn't know whether Israel is holding a peace deal to influence 2024 U.S. election. President Joe Biden has had terse words for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and said he didn't know whether the Israeli leader was holding up Mideast peace deal in order to influence the outcome of the 2024 election. No administration has helped Israel more than I have. None. And I think Bibi should remember that, he said, referring to the Israeli leader by his nickname. And whether he's trying to influence the election, I don't know, but I'm not counting on that. Biden, in a rare appearance in the White House press briefing room, was responding to comments made by one of his allies, Senator Chris Murphy, Democrat from Connecticut, who told CNN this week that he was concerned Netanyahu had little interest in a peace deal, in part because of U.S. politics. Okay? Wild fucking times. Israel has given no assurance it won't target Iran's nuclear facilities, top State Department officials tell CNN. Israel has not given assurances to the Biden administration that targeting Iran's nuclear facilities is off the table in retaliation for the Iranian ballistic missile strikes earlier this week, top U.S. State Department official told CNN. We hope and expect to see some wisdom as well as strength, but as you guys know, there's no guarantees. U.S. officials have voiced support for Israel responding to Iran's missile attack earlier this week, with multiple officials publicly saying there must be consequences. This guy's a fucking asshole too, man. Bolton. Let's see what this asshole had to say.
Our world lead also begins with something else President Biden
strike. That's under discussion.
I think the president's making a huge mistake talking about any of Israel's possible options. Let's be clear. Iran is an enemy of the United States. It's been a state sponsor of terrorism since...
This guy loves war, bro. This guy, John Bolton, loves war. He fucking must be getting so much money from the lobbies, bro. He fucking loves war, this guy. The Houthis vow America will pay a heavy price for bombing Yemen amid crisis. This is from Newsweek. Let's check out the video. Sana'a, Yemen. You should be watching these episodes on YouTube, Spotify, or Rumble. Senior official of the Iran-aligned Ansar Allah movement, also known as the Houthis, has told Newsweek there will be severe consequences for the U.S. after it conducted a new round of strikes against Yemen in the midst of a regional crisis. After reports circulated on Friday of explosions rocking at least 3 places in Yemen, including the port city of Hudaydah, the capital Sana'a, and the southwestern city of Damar, local media affiliated with Ansar Allah quickly placed the blame on Washington. So we have war in multiple countries, folks. There's nothing else except to call this. This is a regional war already. This is not just Gaza. This is Lebanon, Yemen, okay? Iran's about to get sucked in, and they've been shooting missiles back and forth. Like, this thing's about to get out of hand. What do you think? I think that they're going to pull all stops. World War III is going to break out very soon. I guarantee you they're going to try to pull Iran into war this week. I could just feel it. If I had to guess, that's what's going to happen. In other news, on the Patrick Bet-David podcast, they had the owner of Pornhub, the fucking vile human being that he is, and this woman, I don't know her fucking name, but she's sitting there defending their company and what they do for a living while she's wearing a cross on her neck. Okay? She's sitting here defending one of the most vile industries in the world with a cross on her neck. Like, you are a clown. You are absolutely a clown trying to defend that industry with a cross on your neck. I'm offended. I'm not even Christian. Okay, as a Muslim, I'm offended for my Christian brothers and sisters. They should tell her, you know what? Take that cross off if you want to defend one of the most filthy, vile acts a human being can do to earn a living. Let's hear what some of what this cunt had to say.
About also is we've introduced what could be called friction, right, to the upload process. So when you're talking about content creators who are business people that are using our platforms to monetize their content, like I said earlier when we were chatting, it's hard, right, to get content up onto Pornhub. And part of the work that I'm doing is going out and speaking with people and listening to their grievances on that front. And sometimes those are uncomfortable conversations where they're saying, like, you know...
What should make you uncomfortable is wearing a cross, which represents some type of belief in God, who is definitely against the work that you do. You fucking clown. That's all I gotta say. Drop a comment if I'm wrong. 6 hours at the hands of Hamas. New accounts reveal how Israeli base fell on October 7th. Basically, to summarize this article, a lot of inconsistencies, things that don't make sense, soldiers that have come forward. I'll read a couple excerpts from this BBC article. The BBC has found suspicious activity was spotted by many soldiers at the base before September before October 7th last year, not just the young women whose job it was to monitor border cameras. Soldiers noticed an abrupt stop to Hamas activity in the days before the attack. Many Israeli troops then were unarmed, and official protocols had soldiers standing back when under attack instead of advancing. Some surveillance equipment was either out of action or able to be destroyed by Hamas with ease. These details we have established raise questions, including why so few soldiers were armed at a base so close to the border, why more wasn't done to respond to the intelligence and warnings that had been received, how it took so long for reinforcements to arrive, and whether the very infrastructure of the base had left those there unprotected. Meaning they probably wanted this to happen. The superiors is what it's starting to sound like, which many of us, even I did. If you go back to my October 7th episode, I said it doesn't make any sense how they couldn't see these people mobilizing and heading towards the most fortified wall in the world with AI technology, sensors, you name it, cameras, drones, and soldiers. It doesn't add up. I know I had something here on TMZ that was interesting. I'm going to pull it up in a second. Besides these pictures of Diddy and Justin Bieber, this is a crazy story. Kentucky Justice Sheriff appears to shoot judge on video. Warning, this is disturbing content. I'm going to stop it. I don't know if he actually goes through with it. But let me take it off camera for a second. I'll tell you if he does. He's pointing it at the judge. And they don't show the actual moment. But the fatal shooting of a Kentucky judge by a sheriff was apparently captured on security video, and the moments leading up to the alleged cold-blooded murder were played in open court. Justice Kevin Mullins was seated at his desk inside his chambers in Letcher County Courthouse in Whitesburg, Kentucky, on September 19th when Sheriff Sean Mickey Steins walks inside and appears to pull out a gun and shoot him multiple times, killing the judge. Steins surrendered to authorities and was charged with Mullins slaying. Investigators uncovered a possible motive, revealing Steins allegedly found his daughter's phone number on Mullins' phone and called it, and a detective later confirmed that the sheriff's daughter had been called from the judge's phone before the incident. Sounds like this dude was fucking his daughter is what it sounds like, and he did what a lot of fathers probably would have done. People think sex is a joke, bro, until it gets too serious, man. Especially you fuck someone's daughter, your coworker. I'm not saying this man deserved death. He probably just deserved a really bad beating, and his daughter's also guilty. I don't think he should have lost his life, but pushing people past the edge sometimes, man. You fuck with their honor, their face. You know? Sex is not a joke, man. People kill for that shit. I'm very, gangsterish tonight. I don't know. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. I'm very, calm, and it's late. I don't usually film episodes this late. It's almost 9 o'clock on Friday night. So I think there was one more article here I wanted to show you guys off TMZ that was pretty interesting. Forgot where it is. I think it's coming up right now. Let's see. If not, we're just going to keep it moving. I know I saw something else. There was something about Kevin Hart also that got asked questions about Diddy, and he was all nervous and paranoid. And I mean, a lot of people, I think, if this guy doesn't end up, not being here like someone else that did something similar to him, his name was Jeffrey. I think a lot of A-listers are about to go down, man. I mean, you saw that other article I was just reading about the Go-Go. Now, these next couple of articles are all about things that are kind of spreading and we should keep an eye on. This is reported by MLive.com. Michigan sees worst outbreak of deer disease causing die-offs in over a decade. Since early September, a sometimes fatal disease spread by a biting fly to a white-tailed deer has now been confirmed in 11 counties across southwest Michigan, making for the worst outbreak observed in the state in 12 years. Epizootic hemorrhagic disease, or EHD, is not expected to lead a widespread dip in the state's deer population, but can significantly affect localized areas of mortality. Is severe, according to Chad Fedewa, acting deer specialist with DNR's Wildlife Division. The DNR does not have an estimate of total deer mortality from EHD this year, but over 2,000 deer have been reported by residents through the agency's online eyes in the field system. So that's one thing that's going through right now. Another thing. Massachusetts man died of EEE. Family says asking why state didn't announce it. Okay. And I think I read this article the other day. So this guy died from it.
At first at 11, a New Hampshire man is dead from a dangerous mosquito-borne virus, Triple E. Family members identified the victim as 41-year-old Stephen Perry.
Stephen Perry's family says this is a difficult loss and they can't stress the importance of prevention enough. So we got mosquitoes out there killing us in the Northeast, not too far away from me. U.S. issues travel advisory to this African nation due to the disease outbreak and violence. You might want to think twice before planning a trip to Africa. The U.S. State Department issued a level 2 exercise increased caution advisory for Americans traveling to the nation of Rwanda. The State Department updated the travel advisory due to an outbreak of Marburg virus disease in Rwandan health facilities. Okay, so that's spreading and it's very deadly. California reports bird flu in 2 people in contact with infected cows. So that's crazy. Some positive news. A man paralyzed in diving mishap has medical miracle a year after AI-powered brain implant. Let's check this one out. Reported by Fox News. Interesting stuff.
Mary J. Blige.
But we're not going to listen to the commercial. So basically, this guy's a New York patient, paralyzed. They put the chip in his brain, and it's powered by AI, and he was only able to move his arms an inch. Today, after the groundbreaking procedure, he's able to extend his arm, grasp a cup, and take a drink using only his thoughts and stimulation. This is very positive, I guess, for people that have suffered accidents, and I have a few friends. I'm praying that this somehow can help those people. This is very positive news, actually. The Earth actually has a second moon right now. Earth's second moon has arrived. What you need to know. Reported by KTLA-5. A second moon has officially entered Earth's orbit, sort of, although it's being called a mini-moon. It's actually an asteroid named 2024 PT5. The asteroid has been temporarily captured by Earth's gravitational pull. The asteroid will remain in Earth's orbit from now until November 25th, when it will exit and continue its journey through the solar system. There's no way for small telescopes to see this mini-moon. It's far too small, about the size of a bus. That's it. Only the world's largest telescope can detect it, or a very long exposure is required. We see something like this every few years. Okay, well, that's cheesy. It's not really a moon. It's an asteroid, and it's tiny, the size of a bus. If you want to go to Cancun or Mexico, I had a trip like 7 or 8 years ago, booked 4 tickets for me and my spouse at the time and our kids, and I literally the night before canceled. I just got a bad feeling, and I was like, I don't feel safe over there, and I lost like a couple $1,000. But better safe than sorry. A man was reportedly shot and killed at a Cancun resort on Wednesday afternoon. The incident occurred on a beach near the Rio Caribe Hotel. That's actually where I was going to stay. The 30-year-old victim, believed to be a businessman from Mexico, was reportedly shot by 4 gunmen, 2 of whom fled the scene on jet skis. The other 2 gunmen allegedly ran away. Nearby guests and staff who were on the beach ran for cover after the shots were fired. I bet you they were happy to go to Mexico for vacation. And you can see the panic here in the hotel lobby. You guys having fun down in Mexico? Georgian parliament speaker signs anti-LGBTQ law after president refuses to sign it. Tbilisi, Georgia, the speaker of the Georgian parliament signed into law Thursday a bill that severely curtails LGBTQ rights in the country and mirrors legislation adopted in neighboring Russia. Shalva Papashvili, the parliament speaker, said on social media that the legislation does not reflect current temporary changing ideas and ideologies, but is based on common sense, historical experience, and centuries-old Christian, Georgian, and European values. Georgian President Salom Zurabishvili had refused to sign the bill and returned it to the parliament on Wednesday. It was introduced by the governing Georgian Dream Party and approved by lawmakers last month. The bill includes bans on same-sex marriages, adoptions by same-sex couples, and public endorsement and depictions of LGBTQ relations and people in the media. If you're gay, you might not want to move to Georgia, the state. I'm sorry, not the state. Georgia, the country, near Russia. North Korea's Kim threatens to destroy South Korea with nuclear strikes if provoked. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un threatened to use nuclear weapons and destroy South Korea permanently if provoked, state media reported, after South leader warned that Kim's regime would collapse if he attempted to use nuclear arms. Well, the whole fucking world would collapse if they use nuclear arms. Iranian supreme leader praises missile attack on Israel, saying Iran will do it again if necessary. I think their missile strikes are half-assed. I don't know if they're just doing it for face, because to me it looks like they're firing fireworks. No real crazy damage reported in Israel. The question is, are they purposely self-restrained, or they just don't have bigger resources? I don't know. Drop a comment below. Bruce Springsteen should have kept his mouth shut, because he probably just lost half of his fans. Bruce Springsteen endorses Kamala Harris in new Instagram video, Vision of America, because he was born in America. So let's see what he had to say. If they don't make us watch an ad here. Of course they make us watch an ad. Basically, he endorsed her. That's all you need to know. Bruce Springsteen. The U.S. says it disrupted Russian efforts to hack government agencies. Yes, I have an ad blocker. It just doesn't work. 69% of New York City's residents believe Mayor Adams should resign. Now that they want him to resign, I want him to stay in power, because they deserve him. They deserve everything he did to the city. They voted for him. So I would like for him to... I'm actually now, when I was against him, like now I am for Eric Adams to stay in office, especially since he spoke against the migration, the illegal aliens that are destroying America, and we're paying for it while we don't have enough money for our people down south that have been destroyed in storms. I want Eric Adams to stay. I really do now. Now... he's on the right side. Why? Because they're attacking him. Whoever they attack, that's now your new friend, your new ally. Some other positive news, I guess. Plastic-eating bacteria could combat pollution problems. Scientists hope a bacteria commonly found in wastewater can break down plastic to turn it into a food source. Scientists hope it's a pollution solution, and I do too, so we can get plastic bags again in supermarkets, because it's driving me nuts with bringing your bags. Forgetting them in the car, buying new bags, bringing them to the car, forgetting those bags, buying new bags again. All that happened is that we're making more bags. We're forgetting them for the most part, I think. At least I do. In any event, the last article that I wanted to read before I sign off here was about Russia warning their citizens in Israel. I believe that, yes, it is. I was correct about that. So let me pull that back up over here for you folks. Says here that Russia begins evacuating its citizens from Lebanon. Russia tells citizens in Israel to leave country amid escalating tensions. It sounds like World War III is coming, my friends. Okay? Suspected Israeli airbase hit near Russian airbase, accused of housing weapons in Syria. It's getting real, folks. And this is your boy, Bek Lover. I'll always keep you posted. I do the work so you don't have to. I need your support. Drop comments, hit the hearts, hit the like button, share it with your friends, download the Apple Podcast, download Spotify. I love you. I thank you. We live in an interesting world. Interesting times indeed, my friends. Till the next time.